I pulled into my own driveway after a grueling 72-hour business trip, exhausted and looking forward to my own bed, only to find my empty spot where my $70,000 custom Mercedes-Benz should have been parked. When I walked into the house, my mother-in-law was sitting at my kitchen table, sipping coffee, and casually gave me a smug smile before dropping a bomb that left me speechless. She told me the family had a secret meeting while I was out of town and unanimously voted to give my car to her youngest daughter, Sarah, who supposedly needed a respectable vehicle for her new job interview. When I turned to my husband Mark, expecting him to put an end to this absurdity, he looked at the floor, cleared his throat, and refused to say a single word in my defense, effectively siding with his mother's delusion. I did not yell, I did not cry, and I did not give them the dramatic outburst they were clearly waiting for to make me look like the unreasonable villain. Instead, I calmly walked upstairs, locked myself in my home office, and executed a swift legal response that left my mother-in-law hysterical and my husband scrambling 5 hours later when a heavy-duty flatbed tow truck pulled into the driveway to haul the luxury car away directly from Sarah's front yard. I have spent the last 7 years grinding in corporate finance, regularly putting in 60-hour work weeks and traveling across the country to secure high-profile clients. 2 years ago, I reached a personal milestone and bought my dream car outright with my own hard-earned savings. The title, registration, insurance, and monthly maintenance fees for the $70,000 Mercedes were entirely in my name, and I never asked my husband Mark for a single cent toward it. Mark and I have kept our finances mostly separate, which was fine until his family began treating my success like a public trust fund for everyone to draw from whenever they hit a rough patch in life. His mother, Evelyn, has always held a deep-rooted resentment toward my financial independence and my refusal to fall into the traditional submissive role she expected from a daughter-in-law. Her favorite child, Sarah, is 26 years old and has spent her entire adult life quitting jobs after 2 weeks, relying on her mother to pay her rent and complaining that the world is unfair to her. Whenever Sarah needed something, Evelyn made it her personal mission to guilt-trip Mark into making me solve Sarah's problems. But I always kept firm boundaries. When I had to take a 3-day business trip to Seattle to close an acquisition deal, I left my Mercedes parked safely in our garage, fully detailed and fully fueled. I took a rental car to the airport, handled my business meetings, and returned home late Thursday evening, utterly drained and wanting nothing more than a hot shower. As I pulled up the driveway in my rental, I noticed the main garage door was open and my luxury sedan was completely gone. Thinking someone had stolen it, I rushed inside to call the police, only to find Evelyn and Sarah sitting in my living room, scrolling through their phones and laughing while drinking my wine. I immediately asked where my car was, assuming there was a logical explanation, like an emergency errand. Evelyn slowly set her glass down on the coffee table, looked me dead in the eye with a cold smile, and said that while I was away, the family held an intervention. She claimed Sarah was getting ready to apply for a prestigious sales position and needed a luxury vehicle to project a successful image to potential clients. Evelyn then uttered the words that made my blood run cold, declaring that the family took a vote and decided it was only fair that Sarah take ownership of the Mercedes, effective immediately. I turned around to look at Mark, waiting for him to tell his mother that she had lost her mind and that taking someone's property without permission is grand theft. Mark refused to make eye contact with me, fidgeted with his wedding ring, and muttered that maybe we could discuss buying Sarah a cheaper car later. But for now, we should just let her borrow it so the family could maintain peace. He actually told me that I was wealthy enough to just drive the old spare crossover vehicle we kept for utility runs, and that refusing to share would make me look bitter and selfish. Seeing that my husband had completely abandoned his loyalty to me in favor of pleasing his overbearing mother, I realized arguing would be a complete waste of energy. I took a deep breath, smiled politely, and told them that I understood where everyone stood. I picked up my luggage, walked up to my home office, and locked the door behind me. Evelyn and Sarah audibly chuckled in the living room, clearly assuming they had broken my spirit and won the battle without a fight. What they did not know was that my car is equipped with an advanced GPS tracking system linked directly to my smartphone app, which showed the exact location of the vehicle parked outside Sarah's apartment complex, 20 minutes away. Furthermore, as a finance professional, I have close ties with high-end automotive recovery and private towing services. I opened my laptop, pulled up my car title and registration documents, and placed a call directly to my personal attorney and a certified repossession company. I explained that my vehicle had been taken without authorization, provided the legal proof of sole ownership, and instructed them to recover the vehicle immediately and secure it in a private impound lot. While the tow company was processing the emergency recovery order, I went a step further and logged into the Mercedes Connect app from my phone. I remotely locked all doors, disabled the digital ignition key access that Sarah was using, and activated the vehicle's perimeter alarm systems. 5 hours after I stepped through my front door, Sarah came running into our house in a full panic, screaming that 2 giant tow trucks were currently in front of her building, hooking up the Mercedes to haul it away while neighbors watched from their balconies. Evelyn jumped out of her chair and demanded that I stop the tow truck immediately, accusing me of sabotaging her daughter's future out of spite. I calmly stood at the top of the stairs and informed them both that since I am the sole legal owner on the title, any unauthorized possession of the vehicle constitutes auto theft under state law. I added that if they attempted to interfere with the licensed towing operators, the police officers who were currently en route would gladly process the formal criminal complaint I had just filed online. Mark tried to step in, begging me to call off the repossession to save his family from public embarrassment. But I looked at him and told him that his failure to stand up for his wife cost him his say in my personal affairs. The tow truck pulled away with my Mercedes loaded safely on the back, leaving Sarah crying on the porch and Evelyn glaring at me in utter disbelief as she realized her manipulative vote carried absolutely zero legal weight. The following morning, I moved my personal bank accounts to an entirely separate institution and contacted a family law attorney to draft divorce papers, realizing that a husband who allows his family to steal from his wife is not a partner worth keeping. Sarah had to take the bus to her job interview, which she ultimately failed to secure, and Evelyn has been sending angry messages to all our mutual relatives claiming I am heartless. I simply responded to the group text with a high-resolution scan of my vehicle title and a simple note stating that family votes do not override federal property laws, leaving every single one of them completely silent.